All right, I have to get this off my chest because it drives me absolutely crazy. But long throws are insanely effective. You don't have to be doing this in stoppage time to score goals. You could employ this tactic right away at the beginning. Well, the Euro knockout rounds have been outstanding, but England versus Slovakia has to be the most dramatic game of the knockouts so far, and probably yielded goal of the tournament as well. So let's take a look at this match, because Slovakia tactically were absolutely fantastic. They neutered England basically until the 96th minute, and then they end up losing. But let's take a look at tactically what they did and how England just barely got away with this one. Welcome to Campfire Football. I'm Sebastian North. All right, let's start with the tactical board. England, I'm going to start with them because it's not too much different. The only change is Mainoo comes into the side instead of Trent Alexander-Arnold or Conor Gallagher. But let's talk about Slovakia, because defensively they were terrific. And the consistency with which they defended throughout the tournament, but especially in this match, was really impressive. So here was their shape. It was a 4-1-4-1, basically. So you had Dubravka in goal, your back four of Hansko, Skriniar, Vavro, and Pekarik. Lobotka was the holding midfielder at the base of the midfield, but he was not sitting in front of the back line protecting them like this. No, he was the base of the midfield and operating this pressing machine that they had. All right, now let's take a look at these clips. Stanislav Lobotka, he plays for Napoli, and he was fantastic. Not just on the ball, but organizing his entire team. So here is the shape that Slovakia had. The one player that is out of your picture here is Hansko. He is the left back, but the other three defenders, you can see them here. Lobotka at the base of the midfield, the line of four across, and then Strelic up front. And then as they pressed, you can see just how obvious it was. First man goes to the ball. The next have to cut off avenues and make it very obvious where England is going to go. So as Stones get the ball and starts to look across, Strelic here, he's going to come forward to the ball. As it goes out to Trippier, Foden is going to make a run forward. And this is very important what Slovakia did. The first thing you have to do is cut off the ball that goes inside. You also have to cut off the ball that goes down the line. They do both, and so Foden's run is basically irrelevant. So Trippier does the wise thing and goes backwards. Right away, Strelic is on it. You see Mainoo, he's coming inside here, and Lobotka already sees him, already knows, I'm going to let the ball get played to him first and immediately press once it gets released so that I can deter him from turning. This forces him backwards and going the other way. Now, something important to notice here. I said that Lobotka was not a holding midfielder in the sense that he screened the back line. He would be here if that was his role. But instead, Lobotka actually was the most recent one to press the ball. He's about to drop back in, and they left this area open. The key is that they made sure that no balls could get through. And you're going to see Duda here. He's going to run across to the base of the circle. He knows where Bellingham is. And then once he cuts off the pass, now he can go press. If Kyle Walker gets the ball, who should press? Harassland. And this is the way it was every time. Each of these players knew who they were supposed to go and pick up. Walker looks up, no options in here, so he's going to have to go backwards. I mean, he's got his arm out like, I need something. So Stones has the ball 40 yards from his goal, and the ball is going to end up going all the way back to Pickford. Watch the way that Slovakia press. First, Strelic goes forward. He troubles John Stones enough that he needs to let the ball go, and it goes to Rice. He checks his shoulder and sees that Kucka is coming, so he's got to go backwards. Stones has now lost 10 yards. Strelic just goes right after him again, and now he's lost another 10 yards. Once again, he's going to look for Rice. Kucka is still there, so Rice has to go backwards. Everywhere they just cut things off and just made England so predictable. So the question was, how would they be on the ball? And the answer is they were pretty good for the most part. And that was pretty evident on the goal. So the first thing is they did not take unnecessary risks. When they were under pressure in their own end, they were more than happy to just go long. But they did want to pass out a little bit to see if they could draw England in. And that's exactly what happens here. The ball comes back to Dubravka. Kane is going to go press. He doesn't have much time. He takes one touch out of his feet and he notices there's quite a few England players forward. I can go long here and see who could pick up second balls or flicks. In this scenario here, Guehi wins the ball, tries to knot it down to Mainoo, misses, but England are so stretched out that the ball rolls kindly to Duda, and take a look at this for a pass. Takes one quick look, switches it. Slovakia are in a position where they can attack. So the player to keep an eye on here is Kucka. He is going to make a run all the way across here and see if he can get open. Haraslin taking a look forward, doesn't really have much. Plays it back to Hansko. Haraslin starts to check inside. Walker follows him, which opens a pathway down the line, and it goes right to Kucka. Bellingham just decides to start chasing him. Mainoo's already on him. I don't know why Bellingham's decided to run after him, but have a look at this. Chase this, boys. You want to run after the ball? We can move it around. around. Now, what I love about what Lobotka did throughout the match, he did not play overly risky passes. He tried to progress the ball, though. So here, he plays the ball into Haraslin, who did move inside. He doesn't have many options, goes into Duda, it's back to Lobotka. But he wants it again, and Lobotka is like, that's fine, man. Let's do this. Let's move England around and see if we can get him chasing, which is exactly what they're getting Bellingham to do now. As Lobotka gets the ball, you'd think to yourself, okay, you're probably going to go backwards here. I mean, Kane is the center forward, so there is absolutely no pressure on the Slovakia back line. He decides, no, I want to go forward. Tries to do a little 1-2 around Bellingham, but Duda just didn't read it, plays the ball back. Now, as Skriniar has the ball here, he takes a look up, and the player I told you to keep an eye on earlier was Kucka. Now he's going to start to run across. So there's a few mistakes from England players coming up right here. The first is Declan Rice. He is the holding midfielder, and I think he is exactly in the right position right here. He does not need to go anywhere. But for some reason, I think he sees that Lobotka might get the ball, and he just decides to go running up here for it. Skriniar's got good pressure from Kane, so he's got to take a look up and play the ball to Vavro. So Rice is now out of position, and the right back Pekarik has moved forward, which means that Trippier needs to be marking him. You have Guhi marking Strantz. So that means that as Vavro gets the ball, he's going to take a look up and realizes we're man for man up there. The big ball is on. So he hits it, and Kucka is going to be the one that wins this ball. Guhi is running backwards. He should not be coming back and trying to head this ball. Stones is already here. Stones is facing forward. Guhi should just drop in behind him and be able to pick up the flick. Stones does a good job to recognize this is not a good situation. I've got to back off. So the flick is won by Kucka. Now the ball bounces, which slows Strelic down. But look at this. All of a sudden you got Haraslin wide open, bombing up the left wing. Strantz has seen that he can make a run forward and be active in the play, and Guhi does not track Strantz as he runs through. Mainu and Rice miles out of position, and then the final mistake, Stones. Why on earth he does not close in on Strelic here? Instead you get further and further away, and Strantz is just running through. Guhi's too slow to react, the ball goes through to Strantz, and he is able to easily finish. So we go into halftime with Slovakia very much deserving to be up 1-0, and they would almost get a second early in the second half. This would have been the most embarrassing moment of the tournament for England. So the ball goes out to Walker, he gets fouled. Now they showed this replay of the foul, and so we didn't see what happened. It was only in the replay that we saw that Bellingham takes the free kick from right here, and Stones is not looking at him. Stones doesn't see him. Stones is, I don't know, putting his hand on his face, wiping away some sweat. Bellingham passes the ball 10 yards away from where the free kick was actually supposed to be taken and completely bamboozles John Stones here. He has no idea. And then the ball rolls across him. Oh wait, what? And Strelic goes up, goes for the lefty. Somehow he curls it so much that it goes in between Pickford and the goal and misses on the right side. So that was a huge moment, but not as big as this one. It's also probably goal of the tournament, at least for me so far it is. Slovakia, I mean, it's the 94th minute. They are 2.5 minutes away from victory. England, they got to start throwing everything they can at it. So the ball goes in from Guhi to Stones. He's going to play it out to Walker. One touch into Cole Palmer, who one touches it back down the line. Skriniar here, I think, made an error. As the ball's rolling, he should just shield this as long as he can. He can allow it to roll. He can maybe draw a foul from Walker because it's so late. Walker's got to do something. Instead, Skriniar just pops it out for a throw-in. And that's a bad idea because it's so late in the game. Now you're giving him a set piece, and Ivan Toney is about to come on the pitch. So England would have 2 throw-ins in a row here. This is the first one, and you can see the way they've set up. John Stones standing on the end line, Mark Guhi right on the corner of the 6-yard box, Rice and Toney sort of running into this area as well, with Bellingham and Kane crashing right in front of the goal. Kyle Walker launches the throw-in. It's won by Slovakia. Rice does what he can to put it back in the danger area, and a very strange moment. Lobotka, the best player on the pitch for Slovakia in my opinion, does this for a clearance. Just completely shanks it, and it goes out right in the corner for another throw-in for England. And this is the one that would count. Same setup. Stones on the end line, Guhi at the 6-yard box, Toney's gonna run in. But Toney changes it. Last time he went in to try and win the ball. This time he's going to do something else, and it's going to make a huge difference. He realizes pretty quickly he's not getting to this ball. It's more in Guhi's area. So he pins the defender, and this is massive. It is what allows Bellingham to have the space. So Toney here bodies up, and there's no way for the defender to come out and get it. And yeah. All right, I have to get this off my chest because it drives me absolutely crazy. long throws are insanely effective. We've already seen a fair few goals this tournament from long throws, or at least a second phase because of them. For some reason, people seem to think, oh yeah, Rory Delap, Stoke City, it's just a blunt, dumb way to play. No, it's super, super effective. You don't have to be doing this in stoppage time to score goals. You could employ this tactic right away at the beginning. And I just don't understand why we don't see it more often. If people think it's ugly and dumb, well, fine. It's effective, and winning is kind of the important thing here, isn't it? So that was in the final minute of regular time, and then a minute and a half into extra time, England would take the lead and hold on to win. Kind of amazing. And here is Tony once again making his presence felt. Cleverly going to use his back again to just draw him in. There's a little push. Tony buys the foul. So Cole Palmer takes the free kick. Dubravka punches out. Top of the penalty area as he tries to hit the spectacular volley, smashes it into the ground, and it's Ivan Toney. He doesn't try to put it in himself. He just knows, get it right back into this danger area. And he does, and Kane is the first to follow up. He gets there, heads it in, and England win 2-1. I mean, this really was amazing and a huge victory for England. This was about to be the most embarrassing way to go out of the tournament. The only problem is they've got the Swiss next. This is going to be a very interesting quarterfinal. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the breakdown. I'm Sebastian North. This is Campfire Football. Take it easy.